The primary ArcheAge won a ton of fans, being recollected by gamers for its adaptable class framework, maritime fights, and by and large advanced investigation of the world. The MMORPG permitted not exclusively to loot parades, yet in addition to a firm against corrupt lawbreakers in court, equity could surpass both homicidal burglars and malignant criminals of others' apples. Fans are trusting that the forthcoming spin-off will outperform its ancestor. ArcheAge 2 is being created on stunning Motor 5, which, as indicated by the makers, will give wonderful illustrations and an undeniable consistent world. Its ancestor permitted the player to construct his own home, and, whenever wanted, dedicate himself to the existence of a rancher. The subsequent part vows to grow these scales and permit the development of whole urban areas. Blue Convention figured out how to shake things up even before its worldwide delivery, and a large part of the credit for this goes to the infamous Amazon games. Similarly as with Lost Ark, the Japanese MMORPG will be adjusted for Western crowds. It is obscure whether the studio will repaint anybody's countenances in the future, yet at least, players will leave behind a button for shaking their champions in the person supervisor and a few uncovering outfits. In any case, as the media have proactively detailed, eventually the game at long last disposed of obscene garments, gamers totally stripped down to expand their Fs. Since Blue Convention has proactively been delivered in Japan, you can without much of a stretch find the interactivity of the forthcoming contender, Genshin Effect. Besides, such a title is related not such a great amount with the gacha framework for siphoning up weapons, yet with the exhaustive anime nature of the task. Chrono Odyssey keeps on prodding gamers for the third year. Nixel declared a MMORPG about legendary space-time experiences back in 2020, yet from that point forward the undertaking has not gotten a particular delivery date. It is normal that the new item will show up on laptops and last-age consoles in mid-2024. Besides, the arrival of a variant for cell phones has not been referenced anyplace for quite a while. It appears to be that it is as of now not in the plans. The forthcoming multiplayer activity game vows to tempt you with unmatched illustrations on UE5. Yet, in addition with a great plot, notwithstanding a complex battle framework. In addition, the player will actually want to control reality for his potential benefit, supplementing the weapons store of 6 accessible classes: fighter, officer, magician, paladin, berserker, and professional killer. Soulframe is another task from Advanced Limits, the engineers of the well-known space thief shooter Warframe. The new item is situated as a reflect rendition of the universe, science fiction activity, enlivened by the religion anime, Princess Mononoke, and the film, The Ceaseless Story. Rather than steel symbols and dynamic firefights, players will track down a deliberate battle framework with an accentuation on basically scuffle weapons. From the outset, the task brings back recollections of the Dull Spirit series. In any case, the engineers note that they don't depend on the brainchild of Hidetaka Miyazaki. High Position and Freedom is the rebooted adaptation of what was initially Ancestry Everlasting, and presently, it will utilize stunning Motor 4. The recently named Lofty Position and Freedom MMO just had its True Ray uncover recently, and Sacred Damnation. Does this child look perfect? Something that intrigues me the most about High Position and Freedom is guarantee climate and season of day will affect your general surroundings. Screen captures show a few very cool looking FOs and rambling urban communities and civic establishments galore. Furthermore, the Lofty Position and Freedom interactivity found in the trailer grandstands a truly great looking verticality to the game world. We likewise see a person transforming into a hawk to take off across the ocean and afterwards show up on a harbor in the following cut, turning around into a human. We likewise see a Goliath rock essential with some boss weaponry and a lot of other high dream MMO staples. I likewise truly love the person development that is being shown up to this point. It really looks enjoyable to move as your personality. They put an additional idea into making your personality enjoyable to play, The Authority Steam posting additionally notes cross-stage multiplayer and full regulator support, which is continuously invigorating for us love seat players. The game will be another allowed to play MMO, which is gently unsettling. What's more, to be totally straightforward, my absence of excitement for Amazon games is likewise creating a shaded area of uncertainty that there won't be some enormous, glaring adaptation issue. In any case, the significantly greater large worry here is that it has Ngsoft as the distributor, and they've had such countless issues before. Most as of late, they let us down with how they took care of WildStar, which is currently going by. Furthermore, Ngsoft additionally covered ArenaNet, which will converge with NCSoft West, so things are looking quite desperate around there. Way of Exile 2, created by Crushing Stuff Games, is a forthcoming continuation of the profoundly acclaimed Way of Exile, a web-based activity RPG set in a dim dreamland. The first game, delivered in 2013, acquired huge prominence for its perplexing ability framework, profound thing economy, and its obligation to being allowed to play without pay-to-win components. Way of Exile 2 means to proceed with this inheritance while presenting an abundance of new happy and enhancements. Perhaps of the main change in Way of Exile 2 is the presentation of another 7-act storyline, which will be open close by the first game's mission. This approach implies players can pick either mission to begin their excursion, combining later for the common final stage content. The spin-off brings a new story, investigating new conditions and subjects, while holding the rich legend and dim climate that fans cherished in the primary game. Interactivity-wise, Way of Exile took commitments a few progressions. Remarkably, it patches up the ability framework to permit more opportunity and character improvement. The game presents new expertise diamonds, which are basic to the game's profound customization framework, empowering players to fit their characters to their playstyle complicatedly. The continuation likewise guarantees upgrades in illustrations and livelinesses, giving an all the more outwardly staggering and liquid battle insight. Crushing Stuff Games, the New Zealand-based designer, is known for its cozy relationship with its local area, frequently integrating player input into game updates. Their obligation to customary substance updates and developments has kept Way of Exile new and connecting throughout the long term, a training they mean to go on with the continuation. With respect to the delivery date, starting around my last update in April 2023, Crushing Stuff Games had not reported an authority delivery date for Way of Exile 2. The game was first uncovered in 2019, and a few deferrals have driven its send-off additional back. The designers profoundly want to guarantee the game lives up to the high assumptions of its local area, picking a when it's prepared approach as opposed to racing to meet a particular delivery window. Fans are enthusiastically expecting further declarations, with high expects a delivery that satisfies the tradition of its ancestor. Pantheon, Ascent of the Fallen, is a MMORPG in view of High Dream, and it is, obviously, set in an enormous open world. It will have areas of strength for an on-bunch situated content and social collaboration. It'll occur on End, a world populated by gods and legends. The player assumes the job of an incredible legend, and you're entrusted with recovering tragically missing relics. The battle will zero in on planning and mindfulness, permitting players to be tested through situations that require understanding and ability to transcend their rivals. The engineers at Visionary Domains note that there will be exercises in which players can do all alone. However, most of the substance should be vanquished with others, with a solid spotlight on the significance of a player's standing. The game remaining parts in a pre-alpha state, which it has been in since December 2017. What's more, that is alright, Visionary Domains is staying up with the latest with their month-to-month pamphlet refreshes. Truly, if you have any desire to find out about Pantheon's advancement, only pursue the pamphlet, it's really point by point. Their latest note from the maker made sense of a hub-based capacity framework that is in the works, calling it a unique advantage. He likewise noticed that the programming group has made a few powerful new devices for the plan group that permits them to put missions, storylines, and discourse substantially more effectively than previously. In the update, the maker noticed that the following pre-alpha access date will be soon. The impending MMORPG Past Destiny is set in the enchanted universe of Nendir, a land overflowing with sorcery, victory, and two fighting groups, Valfok and Morsif. Valfok, an alliance between the Vikings of Jindal and the Brutes of Gulskir, controls the northern regions. Then again, Morsif, a partnership among the realm of Adaria, the realm of Drosis, and the domain of Korea, holds influence over the focal grounds. As these groups fight for strength, dim powers are additionally on the ascent. The faction of Voxix in the south has stirred old Dol rulers, and in the west, the powerful mythical beast Yudrid takes steps to immerse the world on fire. Players assume the job of soldiers of fortune and can pick their own destiny, lining up with the group to overcome new grounds and face the approaching shadows. The game is coming soon to early access on Steam and is supposed to remain so for around 2 years. The early access rendition highlights center battle mechanics, completely created missions in accessible regions, section prisons, and a couple of world supervisors for lower evened out players. The game offers 5 playable classes, including Sorcerer, Privateer, Champion, Mage, and Minister. It additionally has 7 prisons, world supervisors, landmarks, a passage attack, and many journeys and missions. The engineers are excited about local area inclusion and are available to input to further develop the game further. They intend to add more islands, mainlands, a maritime framework, a conflict framework, extra prisons, world supervisors, and ultimately strikes as the game advances. The impending MMORPG Havenhold is created by Wolfpack Games and Commitments, an activity-stuffed encounter that consolidates battling game battle with key sandbox building. Set in a world rising up out of vestiges, players have the potential chance to fashion their own fate. The game permits you to build strong forts, known as skykeeps, and rule rival groups to lay out your definitive Havenhold. One of the special elements is the legend-driven interactivity, where you can epitomize different antiquated fighters, customize them with extraordinary qualities, and outfit them with made weapons. The game is right now in early access, and the designers mean to offer more happy in the full form, including new legends, prisons, and dynamic missions. They intend to send off the full delivery in somewhere around a year from the beginning of early access, contingent upon player criticism. The early access form is intended to provide players with a sample of what's to come, and welcomes the local area to be more associated with molding the game's turn of events. The designers are available to criticism across different stages like Twitter, Disagreement, and Reddit, and are focused on building a game that is both tomfoolery and serious. Cinders of Creation is our most expected MMO, not too far off, and with all of new and motor film we see, we get increasingly energized, and the latest Alpha 1 early review from Valiant has our promotion level at an untouched high. This Remains of Creation Alpha review gave us an intriguing gander at one of the strike managers, a monster red-winged serpent, as well as a decent glance at how Town City chairmen look. One of the critical elements of this high dream MMO is a player-driven world with an extraordinary hub framework that will permit players to develop their general surroundings. Will you develop your safeguards or set off on a mission to obliterate other player manifestations? The server will have dynamic, always changing substance due to the special framework, with every server having various rhythmic movements. Players will have their own lodging, as they can construct and possess structures all over the planet from ranches to houses. One of its other key elements is the capacity to attack palaces. Develop an organization loaded up with partners to bring down different palaces and make your own tradition. All that we've seen from Cinders of Creation up until this point focuses to it being a stunningly exceptional encounter where players shape their general surroundings. With player lodging, a player-driven economy, and an evident untamed land, it seems as though we're in for something unbelievable. However, it likewise contains the natural dream sayings and style we're searching for in a MMO. And when you pair this with the groundbreaking thoughts it's alls attempting to bring into the class, it ought to be nothing unexpected that Remains of Creation is one of our most anticipated impending MMORPGs. Here's to trusting. AoK is stacked with rich legend, awe-inspiring looking stuff, and some mind-blowing PvP fights. At a certain point, we had Remains of Creation scheduled as the potential best MMORPG of 2023, however it probably still won't come around for one more several years.